Well, a federal appeals court has temporarily halted a judge's court ruling that would have allowed all registered voters in Texas afraid of catching the coronavirus access to absentee mail-in ballots amid the pandemic. Here to discuss the issue, we are joined by Jacquie Baly, a Republican strategist. Good morning, Jacquie. You know, the Democrats have been pushing for this for quite some time since we've been involved with the coronavirus pandemic. Why are Republicans opposed to this?
Well, you've seen that we saw that the Texas Supreme Court, it's very specific in our state constitution what is allowed as a disability. And unfortunately, those who are bringing this case to the courts are saying that having the pandemic is a disability. And in the state constitution and the U.S. Constitution, disabilities are ailments that you already currently have. So that's why legally it's quite difficult to use this as a reason for mail-in voting.
But aren't we in a very unusual situation, an incident that's happening in our lives that hasn't happened in more than 100 years? So could there possibly be some type of consideration for those who are afraid of catching COVID-19?
Yes, and that's something that we've been hearing quite a bit because, of course, this pandemic is not something that we've seen before. Unfortunately, if that's something the law is going to change, it has to be done by the legislature. It's not something that the courts do. They interpret the law and they uphold the law. But as far as changing it, that's something that would have to go through the legislature. A lot of people are, of course, afraid of voter suppression, but on the other side, a lot of people are saying that if we do absentee voting, that there could be voter fraud, there could be forgeries, and a lot of inaccurate measures that could be put into place. So that's why you see the pushback. But from a legal standpoint, it has to go through the legislature.
You say go through the legislature, but right now we do have a federal appeals court that has made a decision. Can this come to a court case that could make a final decision? Basically, where do we go from here?
Yes, well, of course, it's in the hands of the justices, and if they decide that it's time for them to go ahead, because, as you said, the pandemic is currently going on right now, and if they feel that that justifies the definition of a disability, of course, the justices can do that. But so far, we've seen in the rulings, especially from the Texas Supreme Court and from other justices, that they do not feel that it justifies that ruling, and that's why they're saying that voting by absentee, just because you have a fear of getting the pandemic or getting coronavirus, is not going to work.
Well, we appreciate you weighing in on the subject, and we do know that it's going to be some time before a final decision is going to be made. Jacquie Baly, Republican strategist, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.